It's all in terms of we don't want your comfort heroes.
This is very similar to how Blacklist International drafts when it comes down to their bats. They always love to take away Kaja, take away the Franco right off the bat, and sometimes even push in a 1-1. In fact, most of the time, push in a 1-1. I would love to honestly see Burnex Flash actually pull off an Ube against an Echo. That's how they solidify their win, and you know, kind of like send Echo back to square one, where Echo won the Ube, they broke the Ube, and now they're broken again by the Ube.
Can I argue a point for that? I understand that that's how the results kind of panned out, but honestly, it felt like because Echo weren't playing to the strengths of their draft. In that game, they drafted for more pick, but for some reason, they kept going for the engage onto the team fights, fighting 5v5, just forcing something that they weren't built to win.
Okay, right now, I kind of feel like Echo has a very good start, very strong start. They got a Glue, they got a Fredrin. Yep. Fredrin so far, throughout MSC, has been an amazing hero in terms of controlling the game, controlling the jungle. The Glue has been very oppressive as well. Burnex Splash, they got the E, which is pretty strong. But the thing is, probably is going to go over to mid. So Echo, I'm guessing the third pick might be Sanji getting back his Valentina.
That's the thing. I'm thinking whether or not that this Valentina is even worth considering as an option, right? Because Burnex Flash, for all intents and purposes, are eventually going to go into the Ube, and they make sure they have the carry to actually have a soft counter against their tank. So now, I think it's much clearer that Valentina probably is going to be the go-to regardless. If not, Beatrix at the very least for Benny QT to make something happen. If he really wants to win this lane hard without giving a question of a doubt, maybe even Harith. But still, you're trying to power through the raw healing of the Estus, and that's not easy to do.
Come on, Atlas.
I do like the fact that, yes, it's an Estus, yes, it's an Ube, but right now, Burnex Flash needs that tough front line. So far, the top front line has always been Fredrin. Sometimes you throw in a Barats every now and then. So I think the Echo would have a very good idea of banning these tough nuts.
Do you want to say that again? No?
You know,
all right.
You know, hard ones, you know.
Farsa getting picked up. And here's the thing. So far, everyone that has used the Farsa, Sanji, they've been doing very, very well in terms of dealing that very, very big burst damage. But one of the things about the Estus is you kind of don't care about that burst damage, especially if Burnex Flash, they really respect what Echo can bring. Just build an Athena shield.
We'll see how that goes. I personally don't believe that Athena Shield is going to save everybody, because not everybody wants to consider going defensive. And in this particular case, even if you are going to be the carry, you're probably going to have to just wait out the Feathered Airstrike at the end of the day. I like where Echo's mindset is at. They're banning out the Arlet, making sure they also get rid of the Uranus, just to make sure that they can walk away from the real-world manipulation. But on the side of Burnex Flash, right, they get rid of the Claw, safe laners. If they want to get rid of one more safe laner, they can also get rid of the Beatrix, which would either force Benny QT on both either the Harith or even going along the lines of Brody. But even then, right, even then, I hope to see that maybe we see an adjustment, right? A quick adjustment for the side of maybe, I want to say Echo, but I think it's for Burnex Flash to kind of set the question after that last pick.
I wanted to say that Echo very likely will pick a marksman, which will be a Beatrix, because this draft, the first pick with Fredrin, second pick Glue, third pick Fasa, is almost exactly the same as MPLPH game number 1 against Blacklist International. And their final pick was an Atlas.
Oh, that's going to be very interesting, because now the Melissa is very strong going up against a composition that they want to clump up. But the thing is, the Lapu is very strong going up against the Melissa. So now, looking at the composition, I can already see quite a lot of emphasis on the ATM. He is the one that can stop the Farsa. He is the one that can stop the Melissa. And I kind of feel like Echo knows that this is going to happen.
Yep.
So they're going to try to protect this Melissa and Farsa as much as they can.
Yep. I mean, I think I agree with Abstract on this one. The Atlas is looking mighty might, but I like the fact that even for Burn X Flash, they considered all the options. The disengage coming in from that deadly catch is going to be highly valuable here, but instead of going for Atlas, something a little bit more flexible, something to actually stop that people from dashing around and actually peel your opponents away rather than dedicating to one single ult. So having this Kufra, and considering how Yawi has been playing so far in the past 2 games on fumes, I think his natural instinct, just like your Taijutsu, his fight or flight on Kufra is still tip-top.
I gotta say, production, scriptwriters, you guys deserve the rest. No more fun facts for today. We're gonna save all of that for tomorrow. This is the very last match of the day. Let's enjoy the game. And speaking of which, for you guys, good luck. Because I'm gonna shut down my brain. I'm gonna enjoy the next 20, 30 minutes, 40, 50, maybe an
keep
hour
on going.
of Mobile Legends Bang Bang.
Yeah, keep on going. Our record now is 39 minutes. Let's see if Burn X Flash and Echo can beat the limits. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final game of today as both of these teams look to represent their country. Burn X Flash and Echo for the very last time in MSC.
The second wind is already applied to Echo in the last game. They had some momentum. Can they find that energy once more? I think for Sanford, at the very least, this lane will be relatively simple for him. He will be able to control it, no problem. And if he keeps on trading against ATM like this, eventually there'll be enough stacks where he cannot dodge out of the slam anymore. However, on the top side of this, I think the hardest role right now, a lot of weight is on both Benny QT and as well as Yawi. Benny QT not only must protect himself against ATM with or without Yawi regardless, but still needs to be able to deal relevant damage to the front line and as many people as possible when he throws out muddles.
And on top of that, right, I don't think Sanji's job is any easier, right? He's supposed to deal out the damage, but the crazy thing about the Farsa is despite the damage that you can have, you're so vulnerable because, you know, you're standing idly by.
Sanji comes into the drive-by. ATM flickers backwards. Sanji flickers forward. 1-for-1 trade. That's not a very good trade for Echo at all.
I beg to differ.
Really?
Because Sanji is almost guaranteed level 4 no matter what, as long as he shows up on the EXP side of the map. This is personally great for Sanford because now this volatile lane, or more importantly, this already losing matchup has now become impossible for ATM to really recover from if Sanford continues to play at the level he is right now.
Oh.
All right. With the trades happening right now, 2 minutes are on the clock. Both of these teams already centering their focus onto the next objective. A lot are already having their level 4 resources. Let's see how this pans out.
ATM just hit level 4, and thus he will be going in with the bravest warriors, just jumping right in. Big stunts on Kaltizi and Sanji. Unfortunately, untimely, because he would have been able to stop Kaltizi with their retribution.
What did I say? Sanji still hits level 4, gets away with a kill, and is still totally fine here. Well, sorry,
nice.
Not necessarily a kill, but at the very least, you know what I'm talking about, right? He hasn't really lost too much, and arguably, I would say that he has an EXP lead over his opponent onto CCAT.
But even if Sanji is going to be able to get those levels, to get that farm, later on, I feel like it's going to be a little bit more difficult to have an impact in those team fights. I'm going to continue later.
Sanji is back down to the bottom lane, slams, and everything just going to be thrown right at ATM. And of course, the split attaches himself onto the ATM. Sanji and Sanford back as a dynamic duo.
Yeah, ATM's not having the bestest of times. 0-1 already here in the first 3 minutes. They are still trying to just uneven that lane matchup. But now CCAT.
Well, at least there is an RWM to keep himself intact and root himself down onto the ground. Kaltizi, Sanji, and Sanford unfortunately missed that opportunity.
Ooh, thank God Kaltizi didn't die there. He really needs to hit level 7 right now because Chima is able to power farm the rest of his remaining jungle camps if he decided to fall.
And now Yawi doesn't really quite have a lot of help to work with. Benecutie immediately dashes forward and the counter protection is going to be working out for him. Yawi connects down. He doesn't have a lot of help to work with. But unfortunately, Sanji's aspect is a little bit too far. He wasn't able to quite connect. but it's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade. Shamar is dead for an exchange for the Roma. Seacat all the way down in middle lane. Kaltizi, he doesn't have the retribution, but he still manages to get the kill down onto Seacat.
I love this, right? Already the first few minutes of the game, you can see trades happening left and right, but so far, Echo is still leading in economy.
And ATM completely cornered down. Sanford and Kaltizi wave. Even Sanji, they're all in here.
Oh, no,
the big start from ATM, almost doing something on the Kaltizi. He's still alive. He wanted to get himself out so badly, but he wasn't able to.
Beautifully done by Kaltizi. Now the hardest part is securing this next objective.
Bandana strike slams down an artillery barrage, allows Kaltizi to eventually get the turtle, and the rest of Echo backs themselves out of there.
It's so insane, right? Because Burnex Flash were trying to put Echo in a really discomfort. And the fact that Kaltizi was so low, I thought that perhaps they couldn't contest it. But even despite being thrown everything in the arsenal of Burnex Flash, he was still able to secure that retribution. And that is the Kaltizi we know and love.
Absolutely, right? This team, Echo, was known for having just a little bit of momentum and stretching a lead so far across the board that it felt impossible to come back from. And this is how Echo is going to be playing. They're on a comp that they're comfortable with, that they played hours and hours of scrims every single day to get to this level. Just raw instincts coming out of them. You can see how sharp they are. They smell that this is that last game, and if they finish this quick, they get to go home early.
Right now, that lane matchup, right? Carry as well as a Benny QT, both of them are at the same level. Whereas, who's supposed to win in this early game?
Well, I mean, Echo is supposed to win in this early game. Maybe not necessarily the mid lane, but at least for the side lanes, right? That's why you're seeing that BXF are making sure that they are utilizing both their jungle as well as their roam support to come up onto this top side to really affect the lane that matters. And in this case, it's going to be on Donut, right? He needs the gold.
3 versus 3, Sanji activates the artillery, pushes Shamar, D7, and Donut out of the way, while Benny Cutie just gonna be hammering down and chipping the turrets down. Literally, this 3 versus 3 fight was teetering on a breaking point.
Yeah, even in the bottom lane, it feels like things are getting a little stale here for both of them. I thought that perhaps maybe because of the early kills coming onto ATM, it would make it a little bit more in direction for Sanford. But the fact that ATM with that level 4 power spike, now things are getting a little bit more equal. How is that going to fare for both of these teams when they... Whoa, 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 whoa!
Yeah, we connect down onto Shamar. They really want to buzz him down, but unfortunately, the Blessing of the Moon God is just going to be connecting. Sanford is still right on top of Shamar, while ATM is all the way over to the back lines. It's Roma against 3. It's EXP laners against 3. But the thing is, Sanford might be able to get away, while ATM couldn't. That's the difference.
Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Once again, we're seeing this is the lead, right? Even though ATM is like, yes, I'm trying to equalize. I should be more punished by Sanford. But the fact is that Sanford is walking away with 3 assists, not kills. And now Kaltizi is able to walk into enemy jungle territory.
D7 barely manages to get away. That's rough.
And this is what I was really concerned about coming into the drafts, right? We don't see the same amount of impact from D7 like we did before because of how Echo are so great at trying to split the map. But here we go, Yowie!
That's not good for ATM! He's gonna be taken down once again. The middle lane turret is just about a sliver of health. Echo takes this game by the force, and ATM died 5 times already.
I mean, look at this. The momentum that's being built by both Sanji and as well as Sanford is now influencing the rest. Everybody else feels it, right? The momentum pushing them forward. A 4.2k Echo starting to look back in form. And unfortunately for Burnex Flash, they're the ones looking a little sloppy now. They're the ones who have recognized that, oh man, this is how Echo felt in game 1 and in game 2.
The curious thing is I was actually quite concerned with the Farsa pick. I didn't believe it. I wasn't convinced because of how much dive Burnex Flash has in their arsenal to cancel out. What?
Yeah, we didn't connect with the Tyrant's Revenge, but at least that was a Tyrant's Rage, as well as the fact that airstrike that ultimately ends Shamar.
Now, this is what we want to see coming in from Echo, right? A 4-in-1 split. Make sure that Glue, who is already super strong and dominating his lane, to keep his influence on that top side of the map. While the rest of Echo, they all need to be together. The raw damage that they have is more than enough to take out any member from the side of Burnex Flash if they start walking up, and better yet, if D7 pops his ult early, they could get the glue to rotate down and pull someone out of position again and again and again. I mean, look at this. ATM is just watching this happen in front of his eyes.
And now the purple buff gets stolen away by the hands of Kaltizi. Shamar is slowly being starved out by Echo. And to make it even worse, the Lord is currently available. Kaltizi doesn't have... Oh wait, he still has his retribution.
But he's nowhere near the Lord right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like Burnex Flash want to go for a commit onto this. They're looking for something else there in the top side. Yeah, no contest whatsoever. Burnex Flash, they're letting it go to Echo.
Let's not forget, same problem was last time. Their high ground defense coming off for Burnex Flash is very, very real. Even though ATM is 5-1 and 0, if he Bravest Fight is raging slashes an entire wave, he's most likely going to destroy that wave, assuming that he's already got his first item built, the Hunter's Strike in this particular case. Other than that, Echo, they need to start fishing for people, right? Look for people to, you know, try and go for this wave. And I mean, ATM, and eventually ATM is not going to be worth killing anymore because he's not worth any gold. C-Cat and Shima are going to be the ones.
Tyrant's Rage onto ATM. ATM flickers himself away. Kaltizi wants to push his advantage, but unfortunately not quite enough to bring him down in order to get the numbers advantage.
Yeah, I really wanted to talk about that. If Yaoi can't go for a pick onto the members of Burnex Flash, I feel like the defense momentum for Burnex Flash is going to give them a little bit of an advantage.
And now they're going to slow push all the waves in. They're going to crash it about the same time. And even on that top side, Sanford, well played, just to make sure that they synchronize in its collapse.
Now with all three lanes marching down together, with the Lord marching down the bottom lane with his trusty Trident, doesn't have to crash just yet. Sunny's HP doesn't look good, but never mind, he's still in artillery.
Oh!
ATM closes the gap, and that is going to be a 1-for-1 trade. Sanford is still taking on to the front lines. He still have a lot of goons. He's still going to be A-OK. Kaltizi, he's got a lot of health to still work with.
Man, Benny QT is looking so big here. 3 levels above his opponent in Tondona, and now they are just absolutely showing with the extended range. They can siege for days. Sanji, a little bit of a misplay, not gonna lie, trying to greed out for that feathered airstrike because, again, I think he was very confident that ATM would not be able to close the distance because they saw him use his flicker way earlier in the fight.
I completely agree with you. I feel like the timings in these team fights are very, very important, but you're right. I mean, that's a 2,000 gold deficit here for Donut. He needs to catch up.
Where is he going to find the gold, though? They try to move together on that top side as 5, same position as Echo was in game number 3, in game number 4 for Burnex Flash. Again, this is a mountain of a lead. Burnex Flash was only able to achieve a 4.2k lead, 4.5k lead. This is an extra 3,000 on top of that. And now look at that, Winds of Nature from the side of Benny QT as well. He's in prime position and he gets the free hit from afar.
That's a hello from the hands of Yaoi. Shamar literally face-checked in the bush and he sees Yaoi. He knows where Yaoi is. It's not necessarily going to be kind of like surprise hit come from the side of Echo anymore, but Burnex Flash, they know that they're gonna have to play it safe. The Lord is coming on in 10 seconds. What can they possibly do right now? Well,
hope and pray that the high ground is going to be more than enough, right? They're hoping that Sanji isn't going to one-shot them, and more importantly so, somebody will have to sacrifice their life. And in this case, it's going to be the Deadly Catch just to force him out of position when he does use that feathered airstrike. Like, look at this. They're not even going to contest. They're not even going to try because there's no need to. They can buy time and really slow this game down.
Honestly, I don't think it's in their best interest to even contest for that, right? I mean, the best thing that they can do is wait for the Lord to enter, to siege their own base, look for a strong 5v5, try to catch Echo out, and maybe turn the game around like we saw Echo do in that previous game.
We're very hopeful here. We're very, very hopeful, right? Because the battle spells now start coming into play. And I think even for ATM, he recognizes that he can't lose his flicker. Because as soon as he goes for that Bravest... Oh!
Oh!
3-man! Yowie is a beast! In the meantime, all the way at the back lines, Sanji is gonna be A-okay despite the fact that ATM just dove right onto him.
They've guaranteed an inhibitor turret. Seacat was their high ground defense. Donut all he can do is focus on that lore, but Jima can try his best, but Echo won't stop now.
That was so close from the side of Yowie, but the main thing that they're going to be looking out for is going to be the middle lane inhibitor turret. The top lane is going to be go down, and now the Lord even crashes down in the bottom lane. Look at Jamar is going to go straight down. The rest of Echo moving right in, pushing the inside, pushing Donut, but how about the core? Echo! They are the end of the game with a bang! And that is how we get our third place.
Man, Flames extinguished by the force of the Orcas. Once again proving that they are the apex predators.